And we are back. Let's get ready for the first game of this series. We have TSM versus Dragon Basilisk coming in for a best of three. Now, one thing I do have to point out, now I know I say that a lot, but one thing I have to do point out, and I point out like 20 things, but I have to point out that this is a blind pick series, so Dragon Basilisk might be able to pull some funky business going on here. Maybe they have some secret composition, or maybe they've been studying TSM long enough that they know exactly what they want to pick against them. Just trying to check if everybody is ready. Let's go ahead and jump into game number one, TSM versus Dragon Basilisk. Let's see what these guys want to pick. So once again, I'm really excited to see what both teams are going to play. Actually, TSM might want to save some of their comps and want to save some of their heroes for the later stages of this tournament. This is the round of 16 going on right now, which means that it's possible that TSM doesn't want to show their secret compositions. And they want to save those compositions for later stages. Obviously, if they keep playing the same comps in every series, in the finals or semifinals or later on, if they make it that far, they might get counterpicked by some powerful teams. We do have Halcyon, or not Halcyon, the Hammers Esports. We do have Noble Esports, as we just saw. We do have, there are a lot of powerful teams in this tournament, but looks like TSM is going to be going for a pretty standard comp here. We do have a Scarf Glaive Arden comp coming out for the side of TSM, and we do have Arden, Kestrel, and Vox for the side of Team Dragon Basilisk. Kestrel, a hero that we don't see too much. We did see Kestrel a couple times in this tournament, but we don't really see Kestrel as a first game pick. Generally, we've seen Kestrel in the later stages in Game 2 and Game 3, where players might be forced to play Kestrel since you can't repeat heroes. But we do have Sid on Kestrel. I do expect that to be a comfort pick coming out from him. And Kestrel is a hero that, if played correctly, can snowball early on in the game and take the game for your team. We are going to have Kestrel in the jungle, which means Kestrel will be able to clear this wave faster, or the first wave of the jungle, faster than the glaive will be able to. Meanwhile, we do have Ghost K and Mixi in the lane. Vox versus Scarf, a classic matchup. It's all going to be about who can land the poke, if Ghost can dodge the fireballs. But it's going to be a little bit difficult for Ghost early on, as he does have that short range. Mixi is going to rotate down, not taking any chances here. And here comes the members of TSM, and no hesitation there. Nori is going to be the focus, and Nori is going to go down to Flash X. Arden kills Arden with the final punch, and that is going to be an early lead for TSM, and I think they're going to try to do some counter jungling there. A great coordination there. You can tell that this team knows exactly what they're doing. Mixi rotated down right away, got there exactly in time, and Koldamik didn't even hesitate, didn't wait for a flare, didn't wait to face check, just walked right in, and Koldamik will take the first CS, Koldamik will take the second CS, and he's taking both back cams of Sid, and Sid is not going to be happy starving in gold this early into the game. Take a look at the lane. We do have 10 CS on both sides. Mixi did rotate down first, but Ghost K rotated down as well. So even though the kills went over to the side of TSM with Mixi rotating, Dragon Basilisk was not able to get a CS advantage in the lane to counteract that kill. So that's going to be a 800 gold lead for the side of TSM at 2 minutes into the game. Absolutely massive this early on. Koldamik just going to go ahead and farm up. The Scout Trap was able to take one, I think, but not too big of a deal. And all of a sudden, we actually have Nori going in for Mixi, and Mixi's getting very low. Ghost DK, I don't think he's going to be able to get there in time, and Ghost DK doesn't manage to pick up the kill, but it's actually going to be Koldamik coming in, and Flash X and Ghost X is going to be the target instead, and Ghost X gets taken out. A great turnaround. Mixi looked like he was in trouble, but it was actually TSM that came in up from behind, taking the kill, and that's going to be 2 kills over the side of TSM. Great coordination there, and great afterburn from the side of Koldamik, coming in at the exact right time. Nori is very low, however, so Nori is trying to sit in this bush, making sure that there are no ganks coming in, but I do think Nori can be in kind of a rough position. If another team fight does break out, Nori is going to be pretty much a non-factor in these fights and probably going to go down pretty quickly. Take a look at the CS. No surprise there. 24 CS on Solomid to 17 on Sid on that Kestrel. So an advantage on TSM in the CS from those early kills and those early rotations. But now it's going to be another attempt at CS stealing. And Sid's going to go down. And oh my gosh, in a split second before you could even blink, Sid gets taken out by Solomid and Flash X. And that's going to be more farm getting stolen from the side of TSM. But on the other side, Nori decides not to do some. Oh, Nori is going to try to do some counter jungling on his own, trying to even up that gold by just a little bit. But Mixi knows, and Mixi is going to be going in, trying to steal his own CS. And Nori's actually going to get low, and Nori's going to get taken down. And Nori doesn't get anything. Mixi manages to get the first and the second CS in the jungle, and gets the kill as well. And Solomid doesn't care that it's a 1v2. Solomid doesn't care that he's almost dead. He's going to go in for the afterburn on Sid. Stuns up Sid, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. And Solomid is just going to go ahead and back up. But now we have the cavalry arriving. We have Mixi and Flash X coming in to support his teammate. And Solomid is going to go back into the jungle farming while Mixi is happy in the lane. A big CS lead all across the board from TSM. We have 29 to 21 in the jungle, and then we have 49 to 34 in the lane. Oh, Nori is getting low. Another turnaround fight by TSM. Flash X coming in with the assist, and it's going to be Nori backing off just for now here. Ghost TK is actually taking a lot of poke damage from Flash X as well. Flash X is very happy taking some damage as long as he can land the punches and the harass on Ghost TK. Ghost TK is low on energy, so if we do have a fight breaking out, Ghost TK is not going to have a good time here. Kestrel is having a hard time farming her own jungle as well, and we do have a 7 CS lead for the side of Solomid. We do have some free farm for the side of Ghost TK. Nori is standing in this bush. A nice check from the side of Mixi, throwing a fireball in the bush, making sure that there is no gank waiting for him, which there was. So a good job avoiding that potential gank, and we have a little bit of quiet time, not too much going on. Oh, a body block from Flash X on the ult from Sid X, trying to do a little bit of damage at the beginning of the fight, but Solomid is not going to go in with the Vanguard on Sid X. A little bit hard to get the right angle to afterburn Sid X backwards. We do have all members of Dragon Basilisk in the lane, which means that Glaive is going to have free reign over this jungle, and Glaive, that's exactly what he's going to do. Solomid is stealing farm over and over again, starving out Sid X, and if we take a look, Solomid is already sitting on attention mode, but here's a little fight going on. Ghost TK is going in deep on Mixi, but Mixi is doing some return damage onto Nori, and Nori is getting very, very low. He's not going to go down, but he's going to be in a rough position. He's going to try to port home, which means that Ghost TK is going to be all by himself, but Ghost TK is going right for Mixi. He's actually going to pop his boots, and he's going to go in for Mixi, and that's going to be a solo kill for Ghost K, going into Mixi, and 1 kill on the board for the side of Dragon Basilisk, but Solomid coming in with the afterburn again with the retribution kill, evening it up 1-1, but Dragon Basilisk is going to be happy with that gold bounty they got from that initial kill. Either way, Solomid is already sitting on a tension bow and has 1,000 gold to spend, while Sid X is sitting just on a heavy steel and a 6 sins. He decided to go for that early reflex block, understandable against a Glaive afterburn, but that's going to be less damage coming out of Kestrel. And when you think about Kestrel, you generally think about someone just sits there, lands her glimmer shots, and just melts all members of the enemy team. And having to invest some money into defense this early on is gonna hurt her damage capabilities. A little skirmish going on. Nori is actually getting very, very low. Flash X is taking turret shots, but he's happy to land as much poke damage, just punching away at Nori as much as possible. A flare does get dropped. Ghost TK knows that there are 2 members of TSM in this bush. Solomid looks like he's coming in for a gank, though. Solomid, here he comes, and he's going to land the afterburn, but it's going to go in the wrong direction, and that's going to be Dragon Basilisk walking away, but Ghost K still has still very, very low at this point. A Vanguard keeps him relatively healthy, but a Fireball lands on him. And there's Solomid coming in with the Afterburn again. And Sid X is going to be the target this time. Sid X gets taken down. And there's a Gauntlet from the side of Flash X, keeping all members of Dragon Basilisk inside this area. And that's going to be a death for Ghost K as well. 2 kills for 0. TSM is going to try to take down the first turret, and this might be one of the faster turrets we've seen in this series. 8 minutes into the game, that's going to be a turret. This might even be the gold mine. Here's Goldmine being taken down right now. Goldmine is already down to half health. Goldmine will be taken, and that is an immense gold payout. 900 gold for the side of TSM and a 5,000 gold lead 8.5 minutes into the game. This is looking very, very rough for Dragon Basilisk. Sid on that. Kestrel was not able to get the early game harass on, wasn't able to get the snowball on, and now pretty much a non-factor in these fights. Finally, Sid is able to take some of his own CS, but now it's going to be Ghost K who's going to be having trouble taking his own CS with his first turret down. He needs to be careful walking into this lane. He can get ganked at any time, and we do have a scout trap seeing exactly where the members of Dragon Basilisk are. Oh, nope, just kidding. That's a scout trap for Dragon Basilisk, so that's going to keep Ghost relatively safe, but Solomid can afterburn at any time, and I think he's going to do it right now. There's Ghost TK already down to half health, and he is going to get taken down by Solomid. There's the ultimate from Mixi, taking down the Arden, and that is going to be 2 more kills for the side of TSM. Sid managed to escape and run away, but his teammates are dead. All of his friends are dead, and this is also going to be a dead turret. TSM is taking down the second turret of this game at 9 minutes into the game, and they're going to go ahead and steal some farm as well. Sid is being active around the map. He knows that this game is not over. It's rough, but it's not over. It's never over until the Vein Crystal goes down. He's going to try to take as much CS as he can. Not sure what he's doing chilling out here. He might be waiting for the back camps to come out as well. He's just throwing out glimmer shots. What you doing there, buddy? Am I lagging, or is this really happening right now? You can take these. These look juicy. Take this. There's something there. Anyways, let's go back into the rest of the map and see what's going on. We do have TSM farming up the lane. Sid is kind of still chilling out in that bush. Throwing out glimmer shots at his friendly gold mine. I wonder if he's trying to set a trap. I don't know if you can set a solo trap as a Kestrel, however. And now Sid is gonna be walking left. I wonder if there's some lag going on the side of Dragon Basilisk. That would be my guess, is that there's some lag going on. By some, I mean a lot of lag. But Solomid is going to just not do anything there. And we do have a 3v2. Unfortunately, Sid is... Oh, okay. Sid ported home. So Sid is at home, but Sid is not part of this fight. Flash X is going to land the stun, and he is going to get both members of Dragon Basilisk. Solomid is going to go in for the kill. He's going to take out 2 for himself. Flash X is tanking the turret. He's going to drop the fountain to keep himself healthy and keep his teammates back to full health, and this might be a push for the game. Looks like Sid is still AFK. He is chilling out at home, and this is going to be a quick game. Sid is walking forward, but not doing any shooting. And this is going to be a Vein Crystal going down for the side of TSM, taking the first game and taking the first, taking the first game of the series, and that's going to be an early lead. 12 minutes into the game, 1 game over to the side of TSM, and that is going to be 1-0 going into game number 2 of this best of 3 between TSM and Dragon Basilisk. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. I mean, overall, I don't think there's too much to analyze about the builds. It really was a CS difference between TSM and the Dragon Basilisk. I think the Dragon Basilisk did a decent job early on staying with the game, but I think the early rotation by Mixi in that first rotation with Solomid in the afterburn getting that early kill really allowed for them to snowball this game. So that level 1 fight really makes such a big difference, and the fact that TSM was so coordinated, the fact that they knew exactly what they were doing, the fact there was no hesitation and no delay when Solomid went right in. As a glaive, it's the worst feeling in the world when you afterburn in and your team is farming somewhere else. So great coordination by them, and I really think that the Dragon Basilisk couldn't get a good footing on that game right from that initial exchange. So unfortunately, that's game number 1 over to the side of TSM. Unfortunately, the Sid looks like he AFK'd or DC'd or had some lag issues or something along those lines. But we are going to go ahead and jump into game number 2. We are going to go ahead and jump into game number 2 as soon as we get our players. Looks like we had a disconnect, so I think Sid's gonna reset his iPad or device, trying to fix the lag issues. So we're gonna go ahead and wait for that. If you guys are just joining us, this is the Vainglory Master Series. This is the second series of the day. We did have the first series, which was Noble Esports against Gangstars Vega, which Noble Esports did take 2-0. If you guys did not watch those matches, you definitely need to check out the VODs because it was intense. We had a mirror matchup, an exact mirror matchup for the second game, and we had an almost mirror matchup for the first game. Two very close games. Two very close games. Two very close games that both went over to the side of Noble Esports, but an exciting series to watch nonetheless. They will be uploaded to YouTube. The games will be uploaded to YouTube as soon as I find the willpower to stop being lazy. And if I don't upload them to YouTube anytime soon, you guys can check out the VODs on this channel in the past broadcasts. Alright, looks like we're actually going to go ahead and have a sub coming in for the next game. I guess the lag issues were a little bit too much. Oh. Not sure if we're going to have a sub in. We are not going to have a sub. Okay, so it's going to be the same teams. We're going to go into game number 2 of this best of the 3 series. TSM does lead 1-0, and without further delay, 45,000 MS. That's not easy to play through. 45,000 MS. Somebody do the math and tell me what that is in minutes. I've had in the 20 to 30,000 MS. Where, you kind of just like go and get a drink and come back and you're still lagging, you're still frozen. But we are going to go and jump into the next series in just a second. I think one of the players needs to go feed his kids. No, I'm just kidding. But let's talk about that last series. I mean, this is obviously TSM. It's not going to be an easy match for Dragon Basilisk. I'm trying to think of what they can do to pull out a win here. This is always the big debate. Should Dragon Basilisk go for comfort picks or should they try to surprise TSM? It's hard to say. But I think the best that Dragon Basilisk can do is just put out the best performance as they can, and the cards might fall in their favor. It is a very snowbally game. Vainglory can be a very snowbally game. So an early lead can make all the difference here. But we are going to go right into game number 2. TSM versus Dragon Basilisk. And we already have an auto lock by one player saying, I don't care what you guys are playing. This is the hero that I'm playing. Once again, guys, in the VMS, we do have a rule that you cannot play the same hero 2 games in a row. Which means that TSM cannot play the Arden, I'm trying to remember what they play. The Arden, the Glaive, or the Scarf in the second game, while Dragon Basilisk cannot play the Kestrel, cannot play the Vox, and cannot play the Arden as well. So we will see no more Ardens going on. Let's see what these guys are going to pull out. I'm really excited to see if we'll see a hero that we have not seen in the VMS yet. We have seen... I'm trying to see what is the strangest hero that we've seen. I don't think we've seen any super off meta heroes yet in the VMS, but we do have everybody locked in for game number 2, and we're gonna have a pretty standard-ish match. Dragon Basilisk sitting on Glaive, Fortress, and Taka, while we have TSM picking up Sky, Ringo, and Fortress. So neither team picking up anything too funky here. I do think the Glaive Taka pick is not the most on meta, but it can do a pretty good job. What I think this comp can do is really be an assassination comp. I do see Sid going on Taka as a crystal power Taka, and Ghost K going in as a weapon power Glaive. So potentially going in on someone like Coldamic or Mixi, they can instantly blow them up. Right away, we have the Dragon Basilisk doing something a little bit unconventional. I'm assuming they're just going to go ahead and start with their back camps instead of going in for an early game invade. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and go for a backwards rotation. They saw that last game. They had trouble CSing early on from the early game invade and the early game counter jungling. So they don't want that to happen again this series or this match. So they're going to go ahead and go on a backwards rotation. They're going to be a little bit slower on their rotations, but it is going to keep them safe, it's going to keep them alive, and it's going to make sure that they get all of their first rotation jungle camps. And there we go. We're tied 2.4k as both teams complete their rotations. Mixi and Flash X and Coldamic are all posturing here for a kill on Ghost K, but Ghost K knows that something is not right, making sure to stay at the top of that lane for a potential gank. And as a level 2 Glaive, not that easy to gank anymore. He does have that afterburn to get out of sticky situations. It's actually going to be Sid X and Nori in the lane, seeing if they can make anything happen for themselves, but I think TSM knows that they're here. Flash X should be able to see Sid here, and if Sid is going for a counter jungle, there's going to be 2 members of TSM waiting for him. Coldamic staying very close to the turret and very high up on the lane, knowing that a potential gank can come up from the bottom, from the bush. So he's staying up high in the lane, staying safe, and both teams are just CSing up. It's actually going to be Ghost K that's a little bit ahead in CS at this point, but the jungle rotations will be much slower for the side of the Dragon Basilisk, as they got to the jungle a lot later than the side of TSM, who's already finished with their jungle rotation, and they might actually be able to steal a little bit of farm here. And there we go, Mixi will be able to take the bottom camps for a slight gold lead and a slight experience lead as well. We have Dragon Basilisk sitting in lane. Coldamic is actually going to be the target. The afterburn does not land, though. It actually is used to knock Flash X away. A gank attempt by Coldamic, but not the same coordination we see on the other side of the map, as the afterburn was not able to land. I do think that Sid went in a little bit too deep, a little bit too fast, but it's actually going to be Nori that goes down to Coldamic. A nice Achilles shot, slowing him down, mow him down with the double weapon blade. And that's going to be the first kill going over to the side of TSM. And already at 3 minutes into the game, it's going to be over 1,000 gold lead, not just from that kill, but from the CS lead in the jungle as well. Since Sid was in the lane that whole time, that's time that he was not spent jungling. So now he's at 13 CS, while Flash X is, or Mixi is sitting at 21 CS. So a big difference there in CS. A little bit of jungle steal by Mixi, but it's mostly the fact that Sid is spending more time in lane trying to get those ganks, and Mixi is spending more time in the jungle actually farming up. Now, if Sid can get those ganks off, then it's definitely worth it to spend that time in the lane. But no kills are actually happening, and the coordination is just not quite there. The timing is not quite there, and in fact, it's just going to be wasted time. And time is money, and Mixi knows that because he's doing a great job just farming away his own jungle, waiting to get those items to be a scary Sky. But Coldamic is actually going in deep. There's only 2 members of TSM here, but I don't think they care. Dragon Basilisk is definitely having a rough time now, especially since Glaive is a melee hero. He's trying to CS as best he can, but Coldamic is actually going to be the target. Coldamic uses his twirling silvers and his boots to get out. Coldamic is going to stay alive. He is low on energy, and this is going to be a disengage, but Coldamic still survives, and the gank does not go off as planned by the Dragon Basilisk. And it's actually going to be Nori that gets taken down low. Ghost K is trying to port home in the middle of the lane. I don't think that's going to be able to do much. And once again, Mixi farming both sides of the jungle now that Sid X is hanging out in the lane even further. Mixi knows that as long as his team is not dying, they're going to have the big advantage from farming all of this jungle, and Mixi doesn't even care. Mixi is gonna go in for a fight. This is a 2v1, but Mixi has no fear. Mixi is gonna land his forward barrage on Nori 98. Nori 90 is getting very, very low. Meanwhile, in the lane, Glaive goes down as well, and that's going to be 2 kills for the side of TSM. 3 kills this early on in the game. They're going to try to knock down this turret, but Taka is still alive. Sid is trying to do as much damage as he can. Is he going to be going for the heroes, or is he going to be going for the CS? He is going to be going for the heroes, but he's going for Flash X, which is not the target that you want. Flash is actually taking a lot of damage from the turret. They're going to go ahead and back up, and Sid X might have been able to save this turret, but Flash X and Solomid are going back in. They're taking the turret down. Turret is getting very, very low, but here comes Dragon Basilisk. Here comes Ghost K, and that's going to be 1 kill for them, but they do lose a turret in the process, and that is still a 3,000 gold lead for the side of TSM at 5.5 minutes into the game, but a nice kill getting picked up from Ghost K.